The best way to truly experience New Zealand is by car or campervan, and luckily there's a huge market of cars and campervans for sale in New Zealand, and they're often sold by other backpackers. So what do you need to look out for when you are buying a used car?
Well, do not fear, buying a used car is not at all difficult, you just need to know what to look for. Now this is going to be part 1 of 3 of how to buy a used car or campervan, and in this part we're going to cover how to search for a car and also arrange a test drive.
Now there's lots of ways that you can buy a car, but a car that is backpacker friendly, that has a bed, camping, cooking equipment, as well as blankets, you probably will not find at a dealership. But do not fear, there's plenty of other ways. If you're not in New Zealand yet, then you can go online onto websites such as TradeMe, which is Gumtree and eBay equivalent, Backpacker Board, and Facebook. There's tons of Facebook groups out there that people publish their cars, so you can go have a look at them. The links are down below in the description, so go sift through the adverts and see which cars you like best. If you're already in the country, then you also have the option of going to hostels, internet cafes and supermarkets, which all tend to have notice boards that can display for sale posters that are posted by backpackers and even some locals. You might also spot some cars for sale on the side of the road, so do take notice of them as well. Once you have a good amount of choice, go home, get comfy and start comparing. When you're looking through all the adverts, these are the things that you need to look out for.
Pictures. Are there enough pictures to give you a good general idea of what the car looks like, both inside and out? Are they good quality and are they in colour? If they're not, maybe there's not even any pictures, or they're bad quality, then what could this imply? Maybe the seller's trying to hide something, or maybe it's just a lazy seller. Both of these you don't want.
The WOF, also known as Warrant of Fitness. This is a legal requirement which checks the car over and makes it road legal. It is done every 6 months for all the cars and only once a year for cars made after 2001. So does the car have a WOF, and if not, is the owner resistant to getting one? This could be suspicious, so ask them.
Registration. Now this is basically road tax and you pay for it per month. It's usually around $10 to $15, which is pretty cheap. The seller is not required to sell the car with registration. However, it's good to check how much registration comes with the car when you buy it, because this can be a good bartering tool to get the price down if it's not very much.
How old is the car? Cars over the age of 20 or 25 may not even be worth looking at unless they have been very well maintained.
Kilometres. Now the average number of kilometres a car can do in a year is around 14,000. Now times this by the age of the car and it should give you an average estimate of how many kilometres the car should have done. If the number of kilometres is far above this number, then it's probably not worth buying since the engine is more worn out. A low number of kilometres is good, however if the kilometre is very low, then this can also be fishy.
What about a service? A service is not a legal requirement, but in a service, a mechanic goes through oil, filters, other liquids, and it generally does a much more thorough check of the car. So is the owner able to say when was the last service done, and is it displayed on the car?
Repairs. What has been replaced? Does it have new tyres, new brakes, battery, cam belt? Look at what's been done and what's been done recently. Things like tyres and brakes will need to be replaced every 2 to 3 years, while other car parts can be replaced less often. A car that hasn't had much done in the past few years could mean that something's about to go wrong very soon.
The price. What is your budget? Is it a good price for the advertised condition of the car? A car with a lot of new parts will obviously be more expensive, but it might prove more worthwhile in the long run. Use these points and write down as much information as possible. You probably have a rough budget in mind, but keep in mind you can nearly always knock off about 10% of the asking price. If there's a lot of information missing, then it's probably not worth your time.
Once you have your list of cars and campervans that you want to go and see, then grab your phone and a pen and paper and start ringing around. You'll always want to ring, as email will just slow you down and phones are a lot quicker and easier way to get information. If you're not in New Zealand, then I guess you could email, but try and Skype if it's possible. When on the phone, make sure you ask the following questions. First of all, ask if the car's still for sale. If yes, then proceed with, first off, I just have a couple of questions. Ask the car's age, how many kilometres is done, and whether there's any damage, both inside and out. Next, ask if they've done any repairs themselves, and if any previous owners have done repairs, and if so, do they have receipts for these. Then ask whether the last Warrant of Fitness was done by them, how recently it was done, and whether anything was wrong when it was done. Ask why they're selling the car. If they're travellers or backpackers, then more than likely the reason is that they're leaving the country and they can't take the car with them. If they're leaving the country very soon, then you may be able to catch yourself a good deal, since they'll want to sell the car as quickly as possible. Ask how much they're selling the car for. This could have changed from the advertised price, so always make sure, and ask any other information from the points we mentioned earlier, just so you have everything you need to know. Always ask all of these questions, even if they've written it down on the advert, because first of all you want to check their honesty, and also you want to double check all the information so you have everything you need to know. If all seems well and good, then go ahead and book a test drive as soon as possible, as cars get sold very quickly here in New Zealand. If the car's not for you for whatever reason, then just say thank you very much, I'll let you know as soon as possible whether I want to come for a test drive. And if by the next day you haven't changed your mind, then go ahead and just ring them or text them and say, look, it's really not for me, but thank you for your time. When you're booking a test drive, make sure that you always book it in daylight so that you can see the car and it's safe, and also book it in a neutral and safe location, somewhere like a car park or outside a hostel where there's a reasonable amount of people walking past, just in case. After making all your calls and you have a short list of the cars that you're going to see, then do research on these specific make and models of cars or campervans so that you know the common problems and what to look out for when you go and view the car.
That wraps up part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 and 3, where we're going to go through how to inspect a used car and then take you through the test drive.
Give this video a thumbs up and follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
Subscribe for more videos like this and keep up to date with everything else.
And as always, we'll see you next time.